Good morning, students. Today we'll study Unit 5. Okay, that is Entrepreneurship Development. Now in that we'll cover the topics, that is concept of entrepreneurship, what it is, then identification of business opportunities, generation of business idea, business plan, preparation of a business proposal, sources of finance, that is government and non-government agencies. Now first we'll study our first topic, okay, as the title suggests. What is entrepreneurship? And entrepreneurship is defined as the willingness and capacity of individuals or two partners or groups to develop, organize and manage a business venture along with its risk in order to make profit. The output is profit. Now you can have one individual proprietor, you can have either two partners or a group. And entrepreneurs play a very important role in the economic development of their country because they are the key contributors to technological innovations and job creations. What do they do? Okay. They are responsible for creating job opportunities, conducting business locally, isn't it? Investing in community projects, and then which help for global development also. Right? So this is the main concept of entrepreneurship as according to some management definitions, MBA experts definitions, that is the definition by A.H. Cole. He has defined entrepreneurship as the purposeful activity of an individual or a group of individuals undertaken to initiate, maintain or aggrandize profit by production or distribution of economic goods and services. And one more management expert, that is Peter Drucker. He has said entrepreneur is the one who always searches for change, responds to that change, innovations, and exploits it as an opportunity. One more management experts come Peter, he has said, entrepreneurship is based on purposeful and systematic innovation. According to McKilland, he said, entrepreneurship involves doing things in a new and a better way. That is decision making under uncertainty. If there is no significant uncertainty and the action involves applying known and predictable results, then entrepreneurship is not at all involved. right? So entrepreneurship has been derived from the French word entrepreneur, and is usually said that it is known as an entrepreneur is an adventurer, risk taking. Okay, now we'll go on to the next. Now this is the concept of entrepreneurship, right? We'll talk about what is an entrepreneur, right? Role of an entrepreneur. What is an entrepreneur according to the diagram shown? The first block, entrepreneur. Now entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, enterprise all go hand in hand, which deal with, at the end, it deals with the profit. Now, entrepreneur. What are the roles of the entrepreneur? Right? As a coordinator, how? The entrepreneur has to select the right factors of production, employ each factor in the right quantity, and select the best technology to utilize the various sources. Right? He has to see, he's the one who will ensure the possible best combinations for the use of the production process. Now the first role, that is the role of innovation. Innovation leads to entrepreneurship, as I told you. So as an innovator, the entrepreneur develops new products, processes, or services, all which lead to final economic development and provide the employment. Next, as an agent's role. Entrepreneurs are always on the lookout for change. They seize the opportunities and put them into action. Isn't it? Risk. Yes, risk is a part and parcel of entrepreneurship. Every venture involves risk because of there is an uncertainty, and profit is the fruit of the risk. The quantum of profit depends on the quantum of risk. Next is the imitating role of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs in developing countries copy the innovations of the developed countries. They adopt the technology, right, of the developed countries. The product, the process, the services is tried and tested. That's why the chances of failure are minimized. Next is capital formation role. Entrepreneurs promote capital formation, right? Because again, the profits gained by them are again utilized as the capital for the next business or for the development and extension of that business alone. Next is balancing role. Entrepreneur also plays a role of balancing. They achieve the regional development, okay, and ensure growth of that region. Next is status transformation role. Through their activities, the entrepreneurs create wealth, generate employment, and also they improve the standard of living of their employees, which again stimulate the economic development. Employment generation role. Entrepreneurs, their ventures create employment opportunities and help reduce unemployment problem in the region. So this was the main role of the entrepreneurs in the economic development of the country. Okay, that is, they play the role of innovation, the role of an agent, the risk role, the imitating role, the capital formation role, balancing role, status transformation role of their employees, and employment generation role. It's so important, the duty of an entrepreneur towards the nation. So this was regarding the entrepreneur, the role. Now next comes the entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the identification of inefficient utilization of resources, of the capital, and moving them all to more productive, higher yield areas. It is the more utilization of man, human efforts, money, and machines. It is associated with the ability to take risk, communicate, mobilize human, financial, and material resources necessary to run a business successfully. It is the infusion, I said in short, of capital, technology, and human efforts. It represents the ability to recognize, initiate, and exploit an economic opportunity. What are some of the characteristics if you talk about entrepreneurship? It is a creative process which involves doing new things or old things in a new way. It is associated with decision making under the conditions of uncertainty. Yes, it involves the risk taking and action with unpredictable results. It is the ability to identify an opportunity and taking actions to exploit it. So basically, it is essentially a creative activity, or it is an innovative function. Yes, that is entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship and entrepreneur, as you can see in the diagram, they are both used synonymously, but their conceptions are different. An entrepreneur is a person who ventures out, prefers change, and that change is a means of growth. In the process, to take calculated risk. And while taking those risks, that entrepreneur is aware of the possibilities, success, as well as the consequences of failure. Entrepreneurship, it is a process of an individually person becoming an entrepreneur. Right? So this was what is an entrepreneur, what is an entrepreneurship, what is an enterprise, company, a business company. Now what is a good business, or how can you state a good business opportunity, or what it is? Right? How do you generate the business idea? Okay. Now there are some C's, 5 C's, which identify the business opportunities. That is circumstance, context, constraints, compensating behaviors, and criteria. Circumstance. It means the problem the customer is seeking to solve. That is specific problems before. First. So the circumstances requires to specify the problem that a small business will be able to solve it. That is by offering some services which are already in existence, but you offer something more to the customers. When you talk about a specific circumstance, that is taking care of the kids, the solution is simple. Small business, start a safe room for ladies, for the babies. Next is context. With some basic research in your mind, you can target the customers about their past experience and future expectations of the product. So by that you can understand that they are not satisfied with some particular product, and you can manufacture that particular product in a small way, in a small business tag. Next is constraints. To identify an opportunity, one may look at the constraints that might keep potential customers from using a particular service or product. That is, one can design or produce some products which the customers can immediately, or which can make the customer immediately feel the change. Next is compensating behavior. Compensating behavior that develops either consciously or unconsciously as a real or imagined deficiency. Next is criteria. Now this is the basic observation of the customer which will reveal about the feedback of the customer. That is a simple, you can feel the feedback of the customers by the people's style, by the people's behavior, or by the people's facial expressions and the social needs. This is simple, it can be just observed on the walk on the subway of the people, by observing which kinds of bags, which kinds of shoes they might want. So this was regarding the business, a business company, an enterprise. So this was the concept of an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship, and enterprise. Yes, now the next slide we'll see segments of entrepreneurship. Yeah, so these are some of the segments of entrepreneurship. That is a startup with money, some new idea, whichever sectors is wanted, the number of investors, the company, their funding, how well you'll create your ideas, the various business ideas. That is, what is idea generation? It's the foundation of the process of discovering new sustainable business opportunities, new ideas. Methods to generate new ideas, focus the groups, brainstorming, right? Then create a business plan, concept, contents of a business plan, right? Then a venture, capital, a start of a business proposal, preparation of a business proposal, Now this is entrepreneurship related factor. Okay, it's showing the risks, the overall consequences, and the reward of an entrepreneurship. What are the risks? As good as the idea is, success still depends on volatile marketplace. Yes, how much ever your idea is at the top, how much ever you're expressing your views, how much ever you're delivering new products with new inventions, as long as your idea is a success, you remain at the top in this volatile marketplace. Yes, it's a more volatile marketplace. It's always changing. Then when sometimes you take a ton of work and long hours, that is also a risk, because the output is uncertain at the end of the day. Potential to lose all the money which you have poured in your business. Then we'll turn on to overall consequences. Creative destruction leads to more competition. Yes, to sustain in this competitive world, in the globalization. Provide extra jobs and help to boost economy. New products, services which bring constant innovation and a better standard of living. What are the rewards related with entrepreneurship to an entrepreneur? You never have to take orders from anyone. You can plan, propagate, produce, and you're the owner of that enterprise. Free from corporate rules and regulations. Potential to make as much money as you put your efforts in. That is, output is directly proportional to your efforts. Okay, so this is the way, this is the relation of the entrepreneurship related factors. Okay, so this was regarding entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs. Okay, after this we are having preparation of business proposal. How do you go about, and financial needs and sources of finance in this unit further. Okay, so requirement for a high impact entrepreneur. What are the various requirements? How you can be a high impact entrepreneur in your surroundings? Right, as you can see, they need proper network, proper experience exchange, experimental learning, right? Mentoring, education and training, legal advice, and equity empowerment. That is the requirement for a high impact entrepreneur. Now, as it is said, yes, network communication is essential for an entrepreneur. Okay, that person should be able to communicate, as I've already told you. An entrepreneur should be aware of what is going on in the developed countries. As long as the entrepreneur is not aware, that person cannot understand the effects and the consequences of business. Right? Experience exchange, yes, that person should have proper experience and proper knowledge of the product and the services that particular person is providing. Isn't it? Experimental learning, yes, the entrepreneurship should continuously be in the learning process. That person should know about the products that person is manufacturing. Isn't it? Mentoring, that person should be a good mentor to look after the employees, to look after the enterprise, to look after the need. Right? Education and training is required for a high impact entrepreneur. Proper legal advice should be fetched. The rules and regulations should be known by the entrepreneur. Isn't it? And equity empowerment should be studied by the entrepreneur, right? For accession to opportunity and for the approaches and to reflect upon the production. Okay, so we'll stop here, students. Yeah, okay.